You can see those West Virginia safeties getting closer and closer to the line of scrimmage. They're seeing the success that R.J. Harvey is having to start this half. They're getting closer and closer, and when they get too close, that play action is coming, and John Rice Plumlee is going to be able to throw that ball over their heads.
Game between Oklahoma and Kansas and a weather delay. We welcome you folks into our audience.
There it is.
Beginning of our third quarter. UCF on homecoming, finding their offense here in the third quarter. Pitch and catch. That's the first catch for the freshman, Randy Pittman, this afternoon.
You don't need those safeties to run down into the box. You just need them to freeze. Freeze for a second, and it allows Pittman to get outside for a nice completion.
UCF looking for their first Big 12 win. They've been close, but it's never happened for them. First year in the Big 12, they are 0 for 4. This after being 3-0 in non-conference play.
Yeah, when I talked to Coach Gus Malzahn, I said this is the pair. A collision with the wide receiver. Now, a lot of fans at home are, well, why can't he make this collision? Well, the ball was not in the air. And contrary to the NFL, there is no illegal contact at this level, right? So you can be physical, you just can't hold. He's physical with the wide receiver, and he falls down, and the ball's right in his chest. West Virginia offense coming back.
Interception there in Central Florida. We bring you back to Lawrence, Kansas. Urban Meyer is ready. A quick fix there on the change of possession over there.
The
MVP carry over there in the corner.
Carey doing backflips
Carey,
out here.
yeah, Urban will be talking to nobody. Matt Leinart, Mark Ingram, Brady Quinn, Rod Stone back here with you again. Play is going to be resuming in a few moments here in Kansas. We've been through the midst of a weather delay with the Jayhawks currently working on a 14-7 upset of number 6 and unbeaten Oklahoma right now. So we'll talk you through that as the players get onto the field for their 5-minute mandatory warm-up. Let's sneak in a quick highlight right now. And number 4, Florida State, the lone remaining unbeaten team in the ACC, looking for their first 8-0 start in a decade on the road in Winston-Salem, taking on Wake Forest. And, yeah, this one got away from the Demon Deacons rather rapidly here. First quarter, Jordan Travis, 13-yard touchdown, 7-0 Noles. Demon Deacons tie it up. Or rather, after field goal, they pull within 3. And then the explosion by the Noles. Travis to Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman, get off of me.
Travis,
Boy's a baller.
273 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. Also has run it for 33 yards and 1 touchdown, 34-7 right now at the break. Earlier on Big Noon Kickoff, we did a little segment with Halloween coming up on Tuesday and the first edition of the College Football Playoffs rankings coming out. We said, all right, you know, are some of these programs tricks or are they treat right now? You have been all aboard the Florida State bandwagon from the outset, so it's clear they're not a trick, they're a treat.
They are a treat, and they've been proving me correct. Made me look like I know what I'm doing up here on my job. You know what I mean? So I like Florida State. And look, Wake Forest went in, they drove, scored a touchdown. It was 10-7. You're like, oh, is Florida State in trouble? No. Jordan Travis's offense explodes. 24 unanswered points. It's 34-7. This offense with Coach Mike Norvell, they're a real deal. They're coached well. They're playing good offense, good defense, complementary football. This is a real team to be reckoned with for the college football playoff.
The team I had was Oklahoma, and obviously they're down right now here in Lawrence. We'll see what the rest of the game, how it unfolds. But even the reality is, as an undefeated team, if they ended up losing today but still winning the Big 12, I think they would get in. Now, granted, their strength of schedule isn't that tough. I mean, the rest of the way, they don't play another ranked team. Their best one was versus Texas, but it's a pretty balanced team so far. I mean, scoring defense, scoring offense, best in the Big 12, great turnover differential, even though so far in this game it hasn't looked good. And they've got a Heisman caliber quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. Yep. So they're legitimately a treat, if you will, or let's just call it a college football playoff contender.
Well, we talked earlier who has the advantage in this kind of situation. The more you think about it, it's Oklahoma. Home field crowd's gone. I'm not sure they're going to come back. They were down. They survived the early punches from in Lawrence, Kansas against a very good KU team. I think the advantage is they have a veteran quarterback. They have a team that's used to winning right now. It's advantage Oklahoma because the home crowd might be gone. It might be good. Might be gone for the
Coach,
day.
They're filling back in. They're coming back, Coach.
That ain't the same crowd as earlier.
Coach, they could be loading up, too, having a few drinks, getting a little fired up.
They're over at Bullwinkle. They'll be fine. They'll make the venture over from Bullwinkle.
God, Rob, you want to go there so bad. I think just to follow up with Florida State, you kind of look at this point in the season, you look at the way teams are built, and do you have the pieces to get to a national championship or even a playoff? And I think Florida State does. The defense is getting better. Verse, one of the best players in the country, has 2 sacks today. And then you look at the offense, Jordan Travis is the leader. But Keon
Keon Coleman is like next to Marvin Harrison Jr. He's an absolute dude. He had another sick one-handed catch in the first half of this game, a couple more touchdowns. So, and I mean, I look at the ACC. I just don't think there's a team that's going to beat them in the ACC. And the ACC is up and down. I'm telling you, their path to the playoff is very, very clear.
Correct.
Miami could be a team that could sneak up on them, depending on some of the decisions they make down the stretch.
But depending on the decision making.
Hey, it's a rivalry game, Coach. I mean, we got to go sometimes. Yeah, we got a big one coming up, but
Coach is silent.
Coach wasn't part of that. It's like, yeah.
The rivalry game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That used to be the epicenter of college football. Miami against Florida State.
Yeah.
What happened?
Both teams starting. Well, FSU's back.
FSU's back.
Miami's
They're back
close.
for sure.
They'll be there soon.
Let's jump to the Big Ten real quick. Last week we saw Penn State in person. Offensively, they were not overly impressive in their loss at Ohio State. In 2 weeks' time, they host Michigan. Today they are hosting Indiana. Pick this one up scoreless, and Indiana on the board first.
Up top.
Pork chop. You know, to the crib, Coach.
90-yard strike. Indiana up. Yeah, what? What just happened? 7-0 Hoosiers. Late first quarter, after a muff punt, Drew Aller.
Okay, Drew Aller.
Khalil Dinkins, 9-yard strike. We're tied at 7. Go to the second.
There go again. He butt naked out there. He's streaking up the sideline.
Down the corner blitz, no safety to help out.
Yeah, that's
69-yard touchdown to IU with the lead.
Ooh, full house.
This Singleton.
Nick Singleton, yet to have a 100-yard rushing game, but pushes it in from 2 yards out. 17-14, Penn State with the lead.
There they go.
And there we go. Good news here in Lawrence as players coming out of the tunnel from both sides, Oklahoma and Kansas, going through their quick 5-minute warm-up before play resumes here in Lawrence. 14-7 Kansas with the lead. They had a pick six to take the early lead, and then another touchdown. It was 14-0 Oklahoma, Brady, or 14-0 Kansas before Oklahoma and Dylan Gabriel running it in to get on the board, and then this lengthy weather delay. And the energy here on homecoming Saturday has really, left Lawrence a little bit, and I think it came at a good time for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then trying to get back some of the momentum in this game. Matt, you touched on this earlier. I mean, that's really what's at stake here is if this crowd doesn't come back, you don't have the same type of enthusiasm. Does Oklahoma find a way to start executing? And really, I thought physically was starting to dominate the line of scrimmage on offense, the way they were running the football. And Coach, you talked about the turkey sandwiches. Well, those are all eaten. They're all good. They're getting passed out. You only get a 5-minute warm-up. I've never been in a weather delay like this with that short of a warm-up like that. What do you say to the team when you get on the field like this?
Stretch those hammies.
As I said before, and I've been around immature teams and I've been around mature teams. Dylan Gabriel, the veteran players, they got to lift their players right now. They got to lift their teammates up and say, we got to get going. Because Oklahoma's fighting for a playoff spot. Kansas for one of the biggest wins in their school history.
Yep. Second half, fast start for Kansas. Oklahoma, obviously. I think Coach Leipold, too, he has the pulse of this team. They have great leadership on this football team, but they got to start fast. Kansas defense has to pick up where they left off in the first half, and then offensively continue to run the football, because they dominate the line of scrimmage when their offense is on the field.
Kansas has to continue to, their defense has to continue to stand up for them and give this offense a chance to make plays. And I think this offense needs to continue to commit to running the football, because when they run the football, it's going to open up the rest of their offense. So the shifts and the motions, it's going to create some downplay, some downfield opportunities for Kansas to be able to, attack the secondary.
Ball security, ball security, ball security. It's wet, it's cold. Special teams included in that. Both teams need to be really careful with this football now moving forward. It's going to be a slick. Hands are going to be a little cold out there feeling that football and holding on to it.
And both those QBs getting plenty of warm-up tosses in right now. Oklahoma will have the ball down 7. There's your Heisman contender, Dylan Gabriel. We once again, thankfully, send it back upstairs to the call of Jason Benetti and Brock Ewing.
And we love you guys, but we hope that we don't hear from you for a little while here. 14-7, Kansas with the lead over Oklahoma. The Sooners are driving. They'll have 1st and 10 from the +41. And in case you're wondering how we got here, it was a pick 6 that opened the scoring in this game.
Yeah, first series of the game for Oklahoma. They get a stop defensively. Dylan Gabriel takes that extra little hitch, and Mello Dotson takes it to the house, and then Kansas's run game got going. A little bit of Wildcat, a little bit of Highshaw, a little bit of Neal, and this was Highshaw running it in himself. And then you felt some of the emotion of Oklahoma. Their sidelines respond. Well, that was a near fumble. The whistle did indeed blow just moments before what would have been another critical turnover. Instead, Dylan Gabriel gets the extra snap. A tremendous block from Javante Barnes in front of him and piles into the end zone. And it's been the run game that's turned it around for Oklahoma.